Hello, and greetings to my fellow phoenixes. It is I, Marlene. It is close to 6 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, and yours truly has already been awake, letting poor Chris get some Z's. Past couple nights have not been easy for us. I haven't felt well, and we have, of course, the caregivers in the daytime, but at night it all lands on his shoulders, which, like I tell him, you didn't sign up for this, but luckily he loves me. um, so one of the things I wanted to talk to my fellow Phoenixes about today is going back to caregiving fundamentals. This weekend has been great. I've got my one caregiver back. We're all switching to a different agency, so that way I can have both of them on a professional payroll. I'm being monitored, but yet I have quite a bit of say as to what my caregivers can and cannot do for me. Mind you, I am being schooled on Virginia law and what is and is not allowed, which is fine. I'm not asking for anything crazy or anything like that, but yeah, it's been good so far. One of the things that I've been thinking about this weekend is people have asked me how I chose my caregivers, because as we all know, I've gone through a few in the last few months. And I have to tell you, I have to bond with people at a certain level because, a caregiver assists you with your activities of daily living, feeding, cooking, bathing, dressing, medication management, the whole 9 yards. I mean, you're basically seeing me in the raw several times a day, and, you have to be comfortable with that, and I have to be comfortable with that. It's like I tell Chris all the time, there are 3 things that I care about where my caregiving is concerned. 1 is being clean. I am very, very obsessed with being clean. I always have been, probably always will be. I am a big one about keeping up with hygiene. 2nd, I need to be comfortable. I want to make sure that I'm kept warm because I have the poor circulation in my body and I get cold very, very fast. Even in the middle of 80-degree weather, go figure. Also, comfortable to me is being able to communicate well, being able to be myself in my own house, just having a sense of security. And both of my caregivers give me that, as well as my husband. The 3rd thing, which is so, so, so important to me on a personal level, is my safety. For those of you who are new to the channel, I will tell you that last fall, when I had all of my my medical woes, I guess you could call them, I ended up having to go to a rehabilitation facility that shall remain nameless for legal purposes. But we'll just say that my life was, shall we say, not valued by the staff. We'll put it that way, and we'll leave it alone. My thing is, I am scared to death of being dropped. I am scared to death of falling again. And I want people around me that care about my safety and my well-being. I want somebody to be able to stand by me and say, Marlene, I got you. Nothing will happen to you while I am here with you. So that to me is very, very, very important. Um, I will also say this. Um, Compassion is a big thing for me when it comes to selecting a caregiver. I've had some people ask me, Marlene, why do you have a male caregiver? Gender honestly doesn't top my priority list, we'll say. A man can take care of a woman and be professional and caring and compassionate. There's nothing wrong with it. I like my caregiver because he is very compassionate, a little too serious every once in a while, but hey. But no, he cares about both me and Chris. And he's very on top of things. He makes sure that I'm taken care of. He definitely makes sure that I am clean, comfortable, and safe. I love him to death. True story. Yesterday, as a treat, Chris and I decided to order food from Cracker Barrel. And my male caregiver is originally from Africa. And he's been over here about 15 years, but he had never had home country cooking. So we ordered him lunch, and it was funny just to watch him try to eat country fried steak and gravy. But he said he really enjoyed it. It was a new experience for him, and I'm glad. I'm very glad that we could provide that for him. And of course, my other caregiver, the one that's come back, she is a cook. She loves to be in the kitchen, cooking things that are delicious but healthy. I'm so glad I have her back. You have no idea. And it's not just because of the cooking. It's because she keeps me mentally and emotionally engaged. She knows that since she's left, I was in a state of deep depression and that I haven't been doing my physical therapy exercises or really anything. And she's like, "Girl, we got you. You're gonna do better." And that means a lot to me. That really, really does. The other thing I want to address where it concerns caretaking is I've noticed that there are a couple of channels here on YouTube that address caregivers from the caregiver's point of view. And I noticed that a lot, that the majority of them talk about caregiving for aging family members. Last time I checked, I wasn't an aging family member. I'm 51 years old. Had a very nice career before ending up in my situation, and was not ready to retire. My husband was not ready to retire to become a full-time caregiver. He had a good career in mortgage and IT, and, he is home. Well, also because he had blood clots in his legs, but, you know, I love the fact that people are addressing the aging population and making sure that people have an advance directive on file, or whatever your state requires that you have on file as far as what your final wishes are. Which, by the way, I'm getting schooled here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. If you don't have it down in writing, it does not exist according to them. So I'm still waiting for paperwork from the lawyer's office. So that way it is in writing and everybody knows what my final wishes are and how they are to be carried out. For me personally, I am going to have now in Florida, they're called do not resuscitate orders. Apparently here in Virginia, they call it an advance directive. Basically, if something happens, let me go. Living on machines with tubes coming out of me is not what I have in mind. And I think a lot of people feel the way I do, to be honest. I know it's a hard conversation to have, and I know that there are some of you out there in your 20s and 30s, even your 40s, that don't want to have that conversation with someone. But as a patient, I'm here to tell you, you need to have something available in writing, and you need to have it with someone that you trust implicitly, that you know will carry out your wishes. Don't end up in a situation where your life is being decided in a courtroom. Get it done. I can't stress that enough. I've seen people in their 20s and 30s die from freak accidents, and their loved ones literally had to go to court to have life support terminated. Don't do that to your loved ones. Don't do it. That's all I have to say. Don't put your loved ones through that kind of mess. It's not fun. It's not fair. Sorry, I'm getting just a little bit emotional when it comes to that. Basically, it's a hard conversation, but have it with someone that you implicitly trust. Have it written down. The $250 or whatever it's going to cost to get a lawyer to draw that paperwork up, it's worth it. Just do it, as Nike says. Also, I have to say that I know some of these channels are talking about the caretaker being the silent patient, and that caregivers are ignored when they ask questions of medical doctors and medical personnel. A lot of times the patient is also ignored, and I have to bring this up. True story. My male caregiver and my female caregiver are personally friendly. We'll put it that way. And it's funny because when they get together and discuss me and my care plan, and I've even heard Chris on occasion join in their conversation, I become a third party. And I think sometimes they forget I'm in the next room. I might be, yes, granted, I might be sleeping, but there are times when I'm just laying there with my eyes closed and I can hear every word you say. And it just, it irks me to no end to hear, well, she, and she, and she, she, and I'm like, she is awake and she is laying here listening to every word you're saying. Include me in the conversation, please. You are talking about me. And I know that with aging family members that caretakers are taking of, there may be diminished mental capacity. And they may, and those types of conversations I understand completely. But as I mentioned, 51 years old, proud card-carrying member of Generation X. Come on. I'm still mentally intact upstairs. Although I think my spouse may argue that point sometimes. But yes, I'm still mentally intact. I understand everything you're saying. So, try to show some respect when it comes to talking about the patients virtually in front of them. Okay, well, I think that just about does it for today's video. I do want to encourage all of you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop me a comment, let me know where you're from, let me know what you think about what I'm discussing in my content. Just give me feedback. I'm at 18 subscribers. I'd like to see me get up to 25 before Wednesday. That would be a nice goal to set. I just feel like I have a lot of information to give, and I'm hoping that it helps someone out there. I really, really do. So, I will close it out for now. I wish everyone a good week, a good day, a good evening, and I hope to start hearing from some of you very, very soon. So, until next time, my fellow Phoenixes, TTFN, ta-ta for now.